The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of ParaX, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Good evening and welcome to Illuminating the Paranormal, opening your mind to the possibility. How is everyone this evening? Hopefully everyone is doing well. I am sitting here in the Midwest. I've secluded myself. I'm being a good girl and trying not to eat all the crap that we bought prior. I got lucky. My daughter did get to come home from Terre Haute, Indiana, where she was a teacher, and she is spending some time with us, and we are just keeping everybody around us that we best we can, as well as ourselves, from going a little stir crazy. So I'm really glad I got you guys here tonight, and we can share some great stories, get to talk about some cool things. So I do have with me tonight a friend, a very dear friend, someone I met years ago in Chicago, and I think some of you are going to recognize this name. I have with me tonight Keith Age. He is the rock and roll ghost hunter. This was a name bestowed on him by Jason Halls from the Ghost Hunters. He has over 40 years of experience in paranormal research because he's a professional musician, even longer. He's also the founder and president of the Louisville Ghost Hunters Society, which was formed in 1996 and has well over 4,000 members worldwide. That's a lot of people. You probably have heard about Keith Age. He's been on hundreds of radio stations internationally and speaking at numerous conventions annually. He is the host and associate producer of the Booth Brothers Spooked TV, highly acclaimed documentary spook series on the Sci-Fi Channel. Some of those shows include The Ghosts of Waverly Hills Sanitarium, which aired in 2006, followed by Children of the Grave in 2007. The second show also introduced the League of Paranormal Gentlemen, comprised of, let's see here, we have Troy Taylor, John Zaffis, and Rosemary Ellen Guiley. God bless her, miss her very much. Keith H. has served as consultant for the first show and then became the host of the series for the second. So there are unbelievably long list of shows and movies, a lot of which has aired on Sci-Fi Channel, Chiller TV. He has also been on several networks for his expertise, and other documentaries such as Creepy Canada and The Ghosts of Galena. Welcome, Keith Age. How are you this evening?
Hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit, dear.
I just love you.
That's something.
I get to see you so infrequently anymore. You and I just don't have as many events together as we used to, but I will never forget that very first time we met. Do you remember that still?
Oh, yeah. Met at the school in Chicago.
Yes. Well, we met the actual very first... I have to tell the story. I do. We actually met at the pre-party. What happened was I was coming down the elevator. I got in the elevator. It dinged. I got in, and here is this gentleman in black leather with a do-rag on. You know, I'm going, okay, it's a motorcycle guy. You know, Tina, you grew up with Hell's Angels just down the road. Come on. You know these guys are usually the nicest people in the world. Okay, not a problem. So I get off the elevator, and I start walking down the hallway, and I realize this guy is right behind me, if not right beside me. And I'm thinking, okay, it's all right. It's all right. He's probably a great guy. I don't know who he is, but that's all right. And I'm thinking, okay, think about this, Tina. The man is dressed all in black. You have on black. Where the hell do you think he's going? Same place you are. And that's when I introduced myself, and I said, you know, are you going to the pre-party? You said, yeah. And we ended up getting lost in this hotel looking for this pre-party. We finally got directions to it, and we got to it, and then we were going to this pre-party, and, you know, you had introduced yourself. I had heard of you before, but I didn't really know that many people in the paranormal then. I just knew you were a name. I really didn't know that much about you. And then I'm sitting there by myself at this little table at a bar, and you had gone over to join some of the other speakers, and we're sitting with them, and over comes Scott Grunwald. He comes in, he sits with me, and he starts talking to me, and I'm pretty sure he's going to use me as a mark for the weekend as a joke, but I turned around and ended up becoming best friends with him. But anyway, he leaves my table after about 20 minutes of just talking with me, comes over and sits with you guys, and he kind of points to me, and you go, yeah, I know Tina, and everybody at the table turns around. All these big names, I recognized some of them, but didn't know them. They all turn around and look at me and wave because Keith Age knows my name.
I had forgotten about that. I did forget about that. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. It's one of those stories that will be with me forever. And it's kind of endeared you to me because we just ended up being friends thereafter. We saw each other the rest of the weekend. We'd wave hi to one another. So that was a good time. So yes, we have been friends ever then, and that was years ago in Chicago. God Lord, I think that was the last year that, what's that couple's name? The ones that always did the EVPs that passed away.
Yeah, God. I was just talking about her yesterday, and I can see her face.
Yeah, I can too. I can see
big brown eyes. And, in fact, she and I were supposed to do her last event together, and of course, she ended up being murdered, and Rick Hayes filled in for her in Evansville, Indiana. God, what is her name? I see both of them.
I know. Oh, I cannot remember. That's going to bug me now. Old. Oh, Mark and Debbie Constantino.
Yeah, Mark and Debbie.
That's it. Yes, yeah. That was their last. I think that was their last event, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was their last event together, and then right before that, they had been at Mid-South that year.
That's right. Yeah.
And I've known Mark and Debbie for a long time, and that was really a terrible incident and a very big blow to the paranormal community.
It was.
They had their problems, but it didn't need to end the way it did.
Yeah, and that was the first time I ever met them, and they made an impression on me that weekend. I was very their professionalism, yet their openness, and they were just so welcoming to everybody. I mean, they just, people they had just met, and they're like putting their arm around them. They're like including them in conversations. They're getting ready to do all kinds of investigations at night at the school, and they were so friendly. And when I heard the next week what had happened, I was blown away. But you know what? We don't need to talk about that. But it's just it was sad, but it was good to get to meet them at least once. So
yeah, and of course Chris was there. Who was also part of the League of Paranormal Gentlemen. Chris Lemon, and him and I have known each other for a long time. Of course, Dave. We call him Darkness Dave.
Yep, Darkness Dave. I haven't seen Chris, and God, last time was again Chicago Ghost Conference. But it's been years. I don't think I've seen him for a while. Yeah. So,
but he's still around.
What's he doing? Have you heard? I haven't seen him.
Haven't talked to him in a while. I talked to Zach. I did talk to John Zaffis this morning.
Yeah.
They're bunkered down, just like everybody else. I think
so. Yeah.
But they're doing good. I talked to Ben Hansen a little while ago. He's doing good. He's trying to stay busy, all that good stuff, just like everybody. And,
exactly.
This is what. I don't want to go over the coronavirus and all that stuff because everybody's got enough to worry about. But, this is scarier stuff than the paranormal, and everybody's got to do their part.
Yeah, agreed. Very much agreed, which is why it's been, now it's going on day 8 for me that I have been in my house. I'd like to say that it's really uber clean. It's only half clean, and that's... I'm keeping the dishes done in the laundry, people, but goodness gracious. Oh, I can't have my daughter over and us not start binge watching stuff.
Yeah, well, that's just like for those that can see me, they're like going, "My God, you've got a white beard." I'm like, I haven't seen it for quite a while, kind of been stuck here,
Yeah. Yeah. And we're eating all the things that we promised ourselves we'd save till the end.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've put on more than just a few pounds. Kind of stuck here, but for those that do know me, they know that Robin had a cancer scare at the end of last year.
Yes,
I canceled out a lot of events and stuff until May, just because of that, because I knew it was going to take time for her to heal up. And, luckily she's fine and, no more cancer and all that good stuff. And they got
thank
it all
God.
out.
Yes.
And, I didn't really start my schedule for events and stuff until May, which I get to see you then.
That's right, yes. It will actually be my very first time getting to investigate with you, sir, and I'm excited. I've never had the chance to investigate with you. So
it's a little place. It's a little castle in Ohio, so it's a fun place. I've been there many times.
I'm excited. Like I said, I have never been there, and it's one that I've been wanting to. I've been wanting to go. It's been on my list to go and investigate. And are we allowed to say the name?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
it's sold out. So
it's a sold out event right now. I'm going to get to investigate Loveland Castle in Ohio, and I'm excited. I have never been there. And what is the main story of Loveland? What is the main thing that everybody goes to try and capture there?
Well, there's several stories there.
Okay.
The Frog People of Ohio, that's one story. It's because the Miami River runs right next to the castle. And the thing about the castle, the gentleman who built that castle come back from World War I. He was an adventurer and, back in the day and everything, and was looking for ways to help the youth and everything. And he built this castle from the mud. They used to call it the Milk Castle, because he built it using milk cartons,
Whoa.
It's from the mud from the Miami River, and he built it brick by brick. And
awesome.
Until he died, his name was Sir Harry, and they still, everything is populated around. They still have the knights of the castle and stuff like that. It's real cool, real interesting. And they've also, last year, they had a lot of rain, and part of a wall collapsed, and then they found out there's a whole other apartment and housing and everything that was there they never knew was there.
Okay. So there's some newer parts that... Okay.
Yeah, parts that I've never been into.
Ooh. And will we have access to that?
As far as I know, we will.
Yay! That'll be cool. I'm excited. Like I said, that it's been on my paranormal bucket list for a long time.
Plus, the grounds are just absolutely beautiful. The flowers and everything that they put out there. They do a lot of weddings and stuff there.
Okay. That'll be neat. That'll be a lot of fun.
They say Sir Harry haunts the halls, so we've got a few EVPs and stuff like that out there through the years.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to get to do this, and it'll be a very small group of us, so that'll be nice.
Oh yeah,
just
definitely.
A few of us. Yep, that'll be great.
That's one of the things I've always tried to do with my events, except for Mid-South. Is try to, one, keep it affordable, and two, keep it towards a smaller amount of people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've gone to Waverly a couple times, and the first time we went, we were supposed to have 10 people only. Ended up being only 8.
How many other groups do you have in the building besides you all?
Just us, only 8 people.
Yeah.
And the second time we went, there was only 6.
A lot of times they book more than just one group in there at a time. So, no matter what, you're facing contamination of everything. So
right. So no, we were lucky. We were able to do some really good investigating with having so few people, and other than I think the Holiday Inn by the airport was scarier the second time we went to Waverly than Waverly. So I learned my lesson. Do not get hotel rooms by the airport. Apparently they are by the hour. And yes, they're scary. So
that is right by my house. It was a very nice hotel. I had Mid-South there several years, and the quality went down, and then somebody got murdered in the breezeway, and now they have actually tore down the breezeway, and they've tore down the other side of the parking lot where it's 2 buildings now instead of just one, and they put a Super 8 over there.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
So they're aiming high,
I stay elsewhere now. I don't go there anymore, but that's all right. No, the first time I went was good.
I never, but when I did Mid-South and everything, I always looked for a good hotel, for everybody to stay at. The last one was very nice, and
very much so. I'll say it was nice. I walked in, they handed me chocolate chip cookie. I was sold right then and there. Yeah. Hey, after that 7-hour drive, it was food that I was looking for.
But different places to eat at around the place. So
Oh yeah, very much so, very much so. Well, I have got to ask you. The 40 years experience in paranormal investigating, over 40. The information and the stories you've got to have, I can only imagine. For me, next month, it'll be 17 years, nowhere near your 40. So, and I know that you can tell us about some great investigations, because I got to hear you at the Chicago Ghost Conference the very first time, and just hearing you speak, you were, for somebody who was just newer to like ghost conferences and stuff, and I'd been investigating for a while, but learning that they weren't just about having famous people there, that you could actually go and learn, actually surprised me. But I'll just have to say that for someone who this was new to, you were almost at a point of overwhelming me, like with your knowledge and your sure-footedness in the world of paranormal. So just so you know, sir, you make some very good impressions on people when you speak. So
thank you. That's part of it. There's a lot of people that are in it just they want to be famous and they think you're going to get rich. And I hate to tell you this, there's only I can name them count them on one hand of people who have gotten rich off of this. But
I don't see any of them driving Porsches. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. And well, I know one who drives a Lamborghini, but
well, that's
that goes with like hair. Anyway.
I'm going to behave. Yeah. Well,
that's part of it. You're supposed to be part of helping each other and learning from each other. People get mad when I say, look, this is the biggest, boringest hobby that's out there, and they're ready to fight. They're like, this isn't just a hobby. I'm like, well, yes, it is. That's all it is right now, because nothing has been proven scientifically yet as to what this stuff is.
True. Well, sir, we actually have a question in our chat room tonight. I have someone that is asking. I'm sorry?
I didn't do it, and I didn't know it was the mayor's daughter.
It's all right. The tests aren't back yet to prove anything. Have you seen or had any contact with what you may believe would be deceased rock stars?
No, but Frankie Banali, who I've known since I was a kid, he was the drummer for Quiet Riot. And we've talked quite extensively, and he still thinks that Kevin, who was the lead singer for Quiet Riot, who killed himself, basically, he OD'd. He says he's with him all the time, and now Frankie has stage 4 cancer, and he says that Kevin has been coming to him more and more lately. So I wish I could say yeah. I mean, I have never seen a ghost like you or I talking to each other, but I'm still waiting for one of them walks up and goes, "Hi, I'm Bob."
Agreed.
So,
I have a question for you. I know you've been a part of many investigations and cases. Which one was your favorite? Which one would you happily step back into?
When I got to go to Australia, I spent a week and a half on my bike, just traveling across Australia.
Nice.
And I went from Auckland all the way over to New Queensland. And basically, I just traveled the entire island, and, just that was amazing to me. Just, 1 minute you're in a desert, or actually 1 minute you're in a modern day city, and within 10 minutes you're in a desert. And then 10, 15 minutes after that, you're in swampland. And then a little bit after that, you're in a jungle, and just, you're like, where the hell am I? What am I in the world or what here? And, it's like my buddy Rob Demarest, he'll tell you there's just some great places in Australia. He got to go over there and film a lot. And the hospitals and the jails and stuff are a totally different vibe. And, I'm not psychic in any way, shape, or form. There's only been 3 places where I've gone to in my career where the hair stood up on the back of my neck the minute I walked into the place. And the first one was the Exorcist house in Missouri. Walked in the door, and it was just like, whoa, what is this? What am I walking into? The other one is up on Round Top in Gettysburg at night. That's another place. And then the other one was the Little Bighorn, at Custer's Last Stand. That's out there in the field in the middle of the night, is just, I said, I got out of the car and took maybe 10 steps and the hair stood up on the back of my neck. I was like, whoa.
You are not alone.
Yeah. And, and also, there's been some great, like I said, those are 3 great places I'd go back anytime. Also, I mean, I love Post Town. I've gone there for years. You know, I've slept there many a night from traveling, and Daryl and Brenda are just great people, and called them up. We're on the road, and we're a couple hours outside of Louisville, and me and my people are tired. We call them in the middle of the night. Can we come stay at your house?
Oh.
They're like, door is open. Just come on in.
Oh.
I've slept on the floor in there plenty of times. Loved Post Town. I shot a TV show for PBS at Post Town with my production company, which really didn't have anything to do with the paranormal. It's called Storyteller, and you met the lady, the Roberta Simpson Brown at Mid-South.
Okay, yes.
And that's what it was about. It was about her, and she's a story.
Okay.
And we filmed one of her last performances where she's retired now at Post Town, and we used the stage and everything. And we weren't trying to get anything paranormal, but she did she did 2 stories. That's all we were going to film, and she had a live audience. And then she asked if they wanted to hear another one. Of course, everybody's clapping, yes, please, please, please. And then I'm standing like 10 feet from the stage, and my assistant is between me and the stage. And out of nowhere, when she says, do you want to hear another one? And all the clapping died down, you hear a child's voice say, yes, please.
Whoa!
There's no child there.
Oh!
But, both of us at the same time, did you hear that? And she's like, oh, my God, yes. And luckily, the recorders that we had on the side of the stage picked it up. So
that's amazing.
Post Town's one of my favorites. Everybody goes, Waverly Hills. Look, I spent 5.5 years up there, and that's
yeah.
Every week, 5.5 years, and we got some amazing stuff out of it. And if it wasn't for me, nobody'd be able to do the tours and all that stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm part of all that, and I don't think it's as common now for things to happen up there as it did back then, when it was just something freaky every night.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of like a big battery, and I think we've used most of the energy up.
Yeah. The first time I was there, it was incredible. The second time, only a few things happened. It was kind of more quiet. So, yeah, I think so too. I think a lot of these places that are famous, that there's a group or someone there investigating constantly, even if the spirit is still there, I think they're tired. I think they're tired of hearing or being asked to do this, to do that, to perform. They're not performing circus monkeys, people. They're real people, So,
one of the cool things, history. I love history, and
mm-hmm.
I got to talk to a lot of people who were actually there. And, people back then, they said, yeah, we kind of felt at times there was things happening, in the 40s and 50s. So, the dogs have a visitor at the door.
Okay. Not a problem, sir. Not a problem. One of the things I did want to ask you was there ever a case that you could just never get any activity to happen? And did you return? And if you did you get some evidence then? Or how many times did you have to return to get some?
Yeah, we got a call one night. This guy calls me and says, you got to come out to my house. I'm going to just walk away from it. And I'm like, what's going on? And he says, it's just totally haunted. He goes, and I had another group here. They were here for 15 minutes, and they left screaming after 15 minutes, saying I had 7 demons living underneath my stairs. Well, we got there, and this guy he was ready to let the bank just take his house, because this other group had said there's demons living in your house. And we spent almost 7 months out there. every time something would happen, we'd go back out and we'd kind of show him, look, no, this is what's actually happening. Like bought a new TV from Walmart, and he's like, look, it's changing channels on its own or going off and on its own. And we're like, okay, well, you get to do a little investigating. And Walmart had a sale on 32-inch TVs, and the wall that he happened to put it on was the exact opposite of the wall of his neighbor, which is only across the yard. And it's called line of sight. And, we're showing him, look, just doing a little investigating, find out, this didn't happen. So after 6 months, almost 7 months, I got up and said, look, dude, we're out of here. And he's like, well, what happened to the 7 demons under my stairs? I said, I think they left 15 minutes after they got there. And, there's plenty of stuff like that. And again, that goes back to what I said earlier. There's people who are in this for the wrong reason. And, and the people go, well, you have a TV show. And I'm like, well, look, I've been on over 60 TV shows in the last 25 years. And, I didn't ask to be on those shows. I didn't ask to be, the host of the Spook series. It's just a series of events happened, and I was right place, right time, and it just happened. And, in all honesty, you can talk to Chris Booth. Me and Chris Booth, when we first met, we didn't like each other.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what, Keith, let's talk about that a little bit more. We actually have to take a very quick commercial break. Let's get back and we can talk about that in a little bit. But everyone, you are listening to Illuminating the Paranormal on ParaX with our guest, Keith Age, and we will be back shortly.
Your source for everything paranormal. ParaX.
Hey, this is Lee.
And this is Michelle.
And this is Dustin from the Dead Zone.
Your source for everything paranormal. ParaX.
I found it at last! Marla's Sacred Cauldron. This is the legendary artifact that has been whispered about in hushed tones for hundreds of years, and now it's mine! All
mine! Who dares defile the sanctity of my castle walls? Step away from the cauldron, you impertinent, muddy-metaled maltworm.
Never! I've spent half my lifetime trying to discover your age-old secret of stirring the cauldron.
Oh, for Merlin's sake, that's no deep, dark secret. Just tune into the ParaX Radio Network Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern for more cauldron stirring than you can shake a wand at.
Oh, well, in that case, I guess I don't need to take up any more of your time, so I guess I'll be going.
Not just yet. We've got a little unfinished business to take care of.
That's Stirring the Cauldron with Marla Brooks. every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Para X Radio Network.
Welcome back, everyone, to Illuminating the Paranormal. My name is Tina Marie, and my guest tonight is the infamous, the rock and roll ghost hunter, Keith H. Keith, welcome back. How are you doing?
Thank you, dear. Oh, just sitting there wishing I had some Jack Daniels to go with this. This is fun.
Oh, you and me both, darling. Oh, so before we went to commercial, we were talking about when you and Christopher Booth first met. You guys didn't quite get along, which I find almost a little bit hard to believe, because I know Chris, I know Rachel, and I was like, no.
Oh, yeah. I mean, me, Chris, and Phil, they used to call me the third Booth brother,
Right.
And we're extremely close and tight now. But when we first met, I got introduced to him, and they're like, the owners at Waverly Hills saying, here's these guys making a movie, do whatever they want, So I wasn't used to, do this, do that, and here we need this and we need that, and it just, I was like, you're getting on my nerves quick, and I had to reschedule tours and everything else, and and then when Chris basically got his first paranormal experience there, that's kind of what changed the tide, and the fact that we're all three musicians, that helped, and we all think basically alike on a lot of stuff, and it just, and as after that, like I said, we've traveled a lot of roads together and made 10 movies together. Chris and Phil and like I said, are just still tight. Love them to death. That's like at 5:30 in the morning on my birthday, I get a phone call from Christopher Booth singing "Happy Birthday" to me.
That's Chris.
Yeah, and but I mean, we're also, our birthdays are only a week, 6 days apart.
Yeah,
and so that's another weird thing, fate. But no, yeah. I love Chris and Phil and Rachel to death.
Yes. I'm sorry. I just kind of thought that was funny. So, well, let me ask you this. When you do investigate, is there a piece of equipment that you like to, like what is your go-to or your favorite when you're on an investigation? What piece of equipment do you always take?
Thermal.
Really? Okay. All
Thermal. Right. Like I said, I'm not psychic, and I'm going to do things as scientifically based as I can. I'm not a scientist either, but that is an actual science, a proven science, and when you an anomaly in that, that's exactly what it is. That's just like Children of the Grave 2. I caught something what I call the Pinocchio Effect with FLIR, and we sent it to FLIR going, what the hell is this? And we explained the parameters of where we were at, what was going on, the temperature and everything, and they sent it back going, what the hell is this? That's what their answer was. And I'm like going, you're the scientist, you tell me.
Yeah.
I'm just a old biker musician ghost hunter here. And it's pretty cool because the way Phil and Chris and I shot all those movies was just us with 3 cameras and no sound man. Everything was mic'd up with a personal mic and all that. And Phil had the big camera for the big shots, and then Chris had a smaller camera, and then I usually was taking pictures or had the thermal camera going. And that's just the way we shot everything. And a lot of the things is Chris would be on my shoulder filming over it, looking at my camera with his camera, and then Phil would be over Chris's shoulder. And but thermal is it, because like I said, it's a proven science.
Right. I like that. you usually hear people go, oh, recorder. I like that you have a different answer. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So if you had one.
I definitely carry, recorders with us, but I don't I don't have a little Sony. I carry the Zooms and the Tascams, and a lot of that comes from being a musician. Back in the 70s, used a lot of Tascam gear. Still do.
Yeah, but that's good. I think that does a better EVP and a more provable EVP than some of the stuff that's out there now. So I like that.
And, one of the best EVPs was actually a disembodied voice that I got. And actually it was Robin that got it. We were staying at Rhodes Hotel, and we were the only ones in the building. We were the only ones that stayed overnight. And, the caretaker had left and gave us the key, and we bolted the door because all the glass knobs and stuff were broke for years, and had a big slide bolt on it. And we were laying there talking in bed, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, from between us on the bed, there was just this laugh. And and we're going, okay. And she goes, okay, what's that? And I'm like, well, it's not me. And so I asked her, I said, where's my digital recorder? And she's over on the dresser, and I was like, can you? And she said, nope, I ain't getting out of bed. My feet are not touching the floor. And finally she jumped up and did a pirouette type thing and jumped back into bed. And so I turned it on and set it on the floor next to the bed. And about 2 hours later, the doorknob starts rattling again. And okay, who's that? And I said, you never know. It's either a burglar or tonight's the night I finally get to meet Bob the Ghost. And a laugh did it again. Only this time we caught it on digital recording.
Nice.
But paranormal's not go-to stuff.
Good. Yeah, I love Rhodes Hotel. Been there many times myself. So if you had one thing to tell those individuals that are investigating out there, whether they be seasoned veterans or brand new, what would it be?
Well, this goes mostly to the people who are brand new that get into it gung-ho, and I've seen this so many times. People go spend thousands and thousands of dollars, on equipment. My advice is, look, buy cheap stuff first. Figure out which field of the paranormal you want to work on, and then do that first. Nice.
Yes. Very much agree. My first piece of equipment was a compass and a flashlight.
I still carry both.
Yep, I do too. I still have my original compass that I take with me. It stays in my, I put on one of the old fishing vests and got all the stuff in the pockets. So, oh yeah. So now I know you're called the Rock and Roll Ghost Hunter, so you have a band. What's your band's name?
Well, what most people know about is the Orb Tones. And it started out as kind of a joke.
Okay.
Me and Bill Bean about 15 years ago at Mid-South for the party said, why don't we jam? And we just started this whole thing on MySpace, about the Orb Tone. I got
dating yourself there.
And got a guy from the Louisville Ghost Hunters. His name is Ron Cundiff. He was the lead singer. Trish Yancey was the female singer. And then the drummer from my band, Doubleback, at the time, he played drums for us. Okay. And everybody come in expecting to see this great band who was, touring for the crown heads of Europe and all this other stuff. That was the backstory we gave it. And we got up here and they come in and it's just us. And we did it as a joke, but it was like, whoa, here it is. This is something really good. And so the Orb Tones have been, together ever since.
Good. Yeah, because I did get to hear you guys play. You guys are very good. I really, really did enjoy it. I liked all the stuff you played. My daughter just kind of sat there and smiled because, she's 23 and the music you played, she had no idea what it was other than rock, so... But she liked it.
Mama, this is the stuff your mama grew up listening to.
That's right. Exactly. You know, I'm sitting there enjoying myself, and she's just smiling like, okay, Mom, can I be done? Can I go now? Kids. Oh, Lord.
Well, and last year when you got to hear the orb tones, that was actually the first time you actually got to hear the orb tones. Usually it's a rotating roster of music, and we don't know what we're going to actually play until we get on stage. Last year, I actually got a permanent drummer and a permanent guitarist, and we actually played stuff that we all fairly knew, together. So, again, it was still a thing of not really knowing what the other person's going to do, but, we still did it.
Right. Now, I get that. I think that's how half the times starts when I'm stepping up on the stage to speak. I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about this. And somehow my notes just kind of fall to the side, and you just start talking and sharing. So, yeah, I understand that.
I get up there with no notes whatsoever. Yeah.
I think I do it not so much what all I'm going to say or what I'm going to talk about, but to kind of like we did with the Constantino, so kind of remember, like to remember a name or a date or the exact place of where where a location is. That's the kind of notes I have. So yeah, because I'm sorry, neither one of us is getting any younger, and I'm telling you, the stuff I forget nowadays. I can tell you what happened 20 years ago, but there are times when I cannot remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So
yeah, that's along the lines of what John Zaffis said to me this morning. We ain't getting no younger, bud.
Oh yeah, I saw last time I saw John was Warsaw. I think it was probably about 4 or 5 months ago now, and we were in Warsaw, Indiana, and it was a very small Paracon, and he didn't know who I was, but he recognized me from other Paracons. So yes, I got to get John Zaffis his coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. Woohoo! I'm coffee girl now. So, so besides getting to investigate at Loveland in May, I know that there's a couple other places that you and I are going to get to see each other this year. I know you and I will get to see each other at SilCon in Mattoon, Illinois, and that's going to be 11th and 12th of September, I believe.
Yeah, and then 2 weeks after that, we'll be at NonCon at Poasttown.
Yes, at Poasttown Elementary. Do you know I've never been there? Really?
Well,
I've never been there.
A good buddy of mine that I've gotten to know over the last couple of years, Lars Van Crafter and his wife. He is the number one Norman Reedus lookalike in the country.
Oh.
And, they're going to go and, they went and did an event with me last year in Cynthiana, Kentucky, which I don't know if you're familiar with it or not.
Mm-mm.
Cynthiana is the actual home place of The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Robert Kirkland, the guy who wrote The Walking Dead, that's where he lives and where he grew up at.
Okay.
And, the Ross Opera House is where he got, when as a kid, got to go watch movies and stuff like that. And he has basically donated a lot of money to keep it open and, keep it upgraded and everything else. And if you go back and read the original Walking Dead books, it didn't start in Georgia like it does on TV. It actually started in Cynthiana, Kentucky.
Okay.
And so if you go and look at the police station and the hospital, you can see exactly how it was written and everything. And basically, they took it straight off of TV. And it's just a spooky little town. And on the side of the Ross Opera House, there's a 100-foot by 40-foot mural of Michonne, Rick Grimes, Carl Grimes, and Daryl Dixon. Well,
okay.
Now I know Norman, and if you're sitting there talking to this guy, he has got it down so pat. you think you're talking to him. And got up here, and we took him in there, and the movie Aladdin had its first run there, and people were coming out, and we were just sitting in the alcove, and people were walking by talking about how great the movie was, and they'd give him a sideways look, and then they'd go outside, and then they'd come back going, "Oh my God, it's you. And actually had one girl actually pass out thinking it was Norman and everything else. So yeah, the reason why I mentioned it is just because, they're into ghost hunting now and all this stuff, and they're going to actually be at SilCon and Post Town. So.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've never been there. The Lynches have invited me to come up with them many times, and it always seemed like I had some sort of paracon I had to be at or some class I had to run. So, nope, never got to Post Town. So, can you tell me a little bit about it? I mean, what are some of the stories attached to it?
Well, the biggest thing is the little girl who fell down the steps and died several days later. She didn't die there, but she did die. And if you look at the poster that we did for it this year, that Lee Poi made just an absolute fantastic poster.
Yeah.
For this thing. It's a train wreck with a bunch of dead people. And because long before the school was ever there, Ohio had its worst train accident right there.
Oh.
And they land as triage.
Okay.
So, you can go outside and you can get EVPs and everything else. Cheryl Carter's got some really good EVPs from out back of the school. And I said, I just filmed a show for the BBC there in Thanksgiving. It's the number one show in England right now. It's called Breaking Dad. And it's where father and son, Bradley and Brendan Cooper, not Cooper, I'm sorry, Walsh. That's what the son is 21. He's an adrenaline junkie, and they travel all across the world, him taking his dad to these different places. And that's what he did one night. He surprises him, and they show up at Post Town. And we're taking him through the building, and he didn't make it past the basement. He got so scared.
Whoa.
Yeah. And, we're supposed to be in a 15-hour shoot, and it only lasted 4 hours. He went out to the RV unit and said, I ain't going back in. I've had enough.
It's that active?
At times it can be, yeah.
Okay,
and this wasn't something jumping out at him. This was something, it stuck its head out around a corner and was watching him, and he was watching it. He said, it's just black. There's nothing there. And it just freaked him out so much. He's a comedian, and everything was funny to him until that. And I just looked at him. I said, look, I know you're an actor and everything, but if you're acting, you're doing a real good job. And I'm standing next to him, and I took his hands, and he's just shaking. And then he started turning gray. And I was like, let's get this man out of here. Get him some air.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the end of the shoot right there.
Whoa. Yeah, sometimes people react like that. Yeah, it just, you don't know how somebody, even if they've been doing it for a while, every once in a while you go with somebody to one of these places, and for whatever reason, either they connect with something there or something there connects with them, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in not a good way. So you don't always know who's going to react how. So, oh yeah.
Definitely.
Very much so. Yep. I know one of the things that myself being diabetic that I have noticed, and I kind of keep on hand now, as I notice when some place is very active and there's a lot going on, that diabetics, our blood sugar drops really fast, really quick, really low. And I know that Dr. Chuck Kennedy had said that happens. Yeah.
I will agree with that, because one of the things I do at Post Town is also I also have the Mid-Ohio there throughout different years. And the first time we did it, we went to do the ghost hunt, and my sugar dropped incredibly low, and I ended up just passing out upstairs in the classroom and just stayed there for a couple hours until I felt better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been to one where I have done, and it was not a good one. In fact, it was probably the worst one I've ever had to be a part of, and my blood sugar was so low, and I came upstairs, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, your face is pure white." They said, "You don't look good." The next day, and I tested my sugar, and yeah, it was low. But the next day, my I got up, after finally sleeping, after getting home at like 4 or 5 a.m., and I slept most of the day. And I got up. My husband's like, "Are you okay?" He goes, You're pale. He goes, "You have big dark circles." He goes, "Your lips are actually a little gray looking." So it was like 3 days until I felt halfway normal again. It's a little on the crazy side, but hey, it happens, people. You just got to be careful what you come up against and be ready for it. So, oh yeah. Well, Keith, we are down to just about 2.5 more minutes. Just want to remind everybody that you can catch Keith H. at least 2 of the different events that we're going to be at together, which is SilCon, which is in Matillon, Illinois, at the mall there. There's only one. And that's going to be the 11th and 12th of September, and that is free.
Where's that? What did you say?
Mattoon, Illinois.
It's starting to be like me.
I know. Yep. And then 2 weeks later, there is going to be the NonCon, and that is going to be at the infamous Poasttown Elementary in Ohio, and that is September. Is it just the one day, September 26th?
No, it's actually 26th, 27th, 28th, and it's free.
Oh, my. Awesome. Yes, that'll be another great free one to go to. So, guys, if you want a great place to go, SilCon in Mattoon, Illinois, 11th and 12th of September, and NonCon, Poasttown Elementary in Ohio, September 25th, 26th, 27th, or 26th, 27th, 28th. You know better than me. I can never remember the dates exactly. There we go. I did put into our chat room where you can find Keith Age on Facebook. You guys just need to put in Keith Age. You will find him. His main page will pop up. And if you guys are looking to get a hold of me, you can do that by going to Facebook and looking for Illuminating the Paranormal, or on any one of my other pages, Nature's Earthware, WARE, Heirloom Haberdashery, and also there is Three Sisters Smudging. Guys, stay safe out there. Wash your hands. I want to be able to have everybody back next week. I don't have a guest yet, but I have a couple people been talking to, so I can promise you that there will be a wonderful guest that we can all talk to and share. If you have any questions, contact me at facebook.com, Illuminating the Paranormal. You guys have a fantastic rest of the week. Stay well, stay safe, and I will see you then. Good night.